My intention is to run this off of the inverter. The specs say it uses about 600 watts, so that probably would be okay. I didn't feel like I had enough battery charge this week to use it, but I'm going to test it now because I charged all the way home again, so I think it'll be okay. So, I don't have a really good retail. Here we go. That's not a bad shot. This is the Mr. Coffee. Get out of my shadow. Simple brew switch coffee maker 4-cup. Okay, no timer, just brew and go. I'm going to use this in my truck off of an inverter. All right. Maybe I'll add more to that. Maybe not. There's labels all over the box, so I may not be able to do a proper showing of the box, but got your instructions. Yay, it does not have styrofoam. Save the environment. Right, let's do it the easy way. If you see my address, go ahead and mail me something. Do not stalk me at my post office box. Alright, what I'm happy about is I don't like styrofoam. Just one of those things. Alright, carefully packaged, looks good. Something is sticking. There we go. Separately packaged. That's kind of clever, I guess, or annoying, one or the other. The cord is wrapped around it, so you can't just get the two apart easily. But it would keep it from rattling. You look at a picture, it's hard to get a scale of that. That's the whole thing. Which, it'll be small, but it should brew faster. That'll probably equal about one of my coffee cups, but, whatever. Alright, see all the packaging. Now, I'm not going to do this while I'm driving or anything like that. I'm not going to be bolting this down, so I'll probably need some kind of a box to hold this in. Alright, so that's it. That's your water tank there. Typical looking. Comes with a little basket. It's got the whatchamacallit on the bottom, so if you pull the thing out mid-brew, it's supposed to stop it. I don't know if I'm ever going to use that, unless I'm really desperate. But, basic switch. I've seen in the past, I've had coffee makers where they didn't quite line up right. And, whatchamacallit, it just never really works right. So, alright, that's that. I think it looks okay. I don't know, everything I get is black, so I thought I'd get a white one for a change. Oh, it's got the level on both sides, so that's kind of nice. Alright, so that's that. Also recommended by Amazon, and I'd seen some of the reviews talk about it also. Get the, what do you call it here? A reusable basket. So you don't have to use paper filters, which I think is a nice idea. I'm so used to using my 40-cup coffee perk that doesn't even use a filter. And you get lots of grounds out of that. But... So, there's that. Kind of nice. Almost a gold color screen. The idea is the mesh is small enough. Quit rustling. The mesh is small enough you don't need a paper filter. And you just wash this out and reuse it. So. Nice that it comes with a little handle. I'll probably try to remember to put a link to here. I do not have, there we go, an affiliate program with Amazon. Several times I have started one, and because I had, 4 subscribers or whatever, nobody would ever click on something to buy, and then 6 months later they would take away my affiliate program. So for now, click it with no guilt or worry that I'm getting any money from you. There you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go grab an extension cord and do the brew out here. And yeah, that'll work. Alright, so I'm going to stop the camera, get set up, and then we'll restart. Oh, that's a beauty shot right there. Okay, for the sake of the test, the battery is sitting on 12.5 volts. And the inverter is turned on now. And it's, so the thing's set up, and then we'll start the test. Yeah, what the hell, we'll do it all on camera. I was going to do this separately, but whatever. Alright, so find the 4-cup mark. I'm using filtered water out of a jug. This is what I took to work this last week, basically. I live out of my truck during the week. Pickup, not semi, but same idea. 3, 4. Figure if they call it a 4-cup, I'm going to mark it at 4 cups and not fill it right to the top. Now, one of the things that always annoys me on these things is if they dribble. That's a good pour. That's like, yes. That's so good, I'm going to get a close-up of that. Because this is one of the most annoying things for me, for anything that pours, is when you tip it up, does the water just pour like that? Because you get into some of these things, the water dribbles down the side and goes everywhere. Seriously. Okay, so this, I had gone to the 4-cup mark. There's a mark right here at 4 cups. And, amazingly, now I'm not going to say this is scientifically calibrated or anything, but it is right on the 4-cup mark there. So they're at least, what's the word? They're equal, okay? Now the reason that's important to me is now I know if I want to, I can skip putting the water in here and take my jug and just pour it straight in there, stop at 4 cups, and I'm not going to overflow this. That's a big deal to me because I do that kind of thing quite often. I'll just frickin' overflow something and then I'm mad. Speaking of mad, one more thing. Simulating a real world conditions here. Freaking out. Where's my coffee? It's the first thing in the morning. I can't think. Now they always give you some magic number for brewing a pot of coffee. Oh, by the way, the filter that Amazon recommends fits in there nicely. Not a friction fit, but I'm going to smooth it out a little bit and we're going to call it good. Alright, this should be good coffee. I put in 5 spoons. Now I'm going to use my kilowatt meter. I've talked about this on other videos. Just for my own amusement, because I want to know how much is this going to actually use. And an extension of that then, it's kind of coming down to how many batteries do I need to get done what I need to do, okay? So for instance, I'm at the point now in my truck, I've got a single inverter and a single deep cycle battery. And, oh, please work. There we go. Inverter shows 117 volts. Okay. I'll switch it over to watts, and then I'm going to turn it on. And for the sake of the test, that's what time it is now. You can't see that. There we go. I'm going to read it off. It's you know, I'm going to use my phone so I can do a stopwatch. Stopwatch. Okay. Last look at the battery. Battery's at 12.4. The inverter dropped it down a little bit. So I'm going to hit stop or start on the stopwatch. On. Close that. Alright, we're pulling 591 watts. Slightly less than 600. Okay. Now, keeping in mind, this is, okay, the first sound was at 20 seconds. That's not bad. You know, this is about a $15 half-size coffee maker, okay? So I kind of come into this with lower expectations, but you still want it to work, and, you know, if they're going to call it mystery, it just isn't quite enough. Coffee cup, ready. Had to find a clean one. Okay, 2 minutes in. Still pulling about 575 watts. It's consistent. Battery at 11.3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm probably the only person on the planet who's going to be trying to do battery-powered coffee making. But, well, no, that's not true. If you're off-grid, there's going to be a lot of people off-grid that are running on solar panels. Maybe your first year you don't have the best solar system yet. So this could be applicable to that too. I have already brewed a 40-cup coffee maker brew off of my solar panels. Well, off of my batteries, which were hooked up to the solar panels. So I had 300 watts of solar, 3 Harbor Freight kits, running into 4 of the big deep cycle batteries from Walmart, and that works just fine. It's a pretty good load, and it really takes your batteries down, so you really can't get much else done that day. You know, you're not going to run a lot of big computers or something after that. But it does work. $350. We're about into the band here, I think. Yeah. I don't have anything leaking or running all over the place. I'm sure that this table, which is a workbench, isn't perfectly level. 4 minutes. 11.2 on the battery. I'll get a low battery alarm at 10.5, so we probably will be okay. Alright, the coffee is just above that silver band at the bottom. Which means I probably got 1 cup-ish. For the sake of the test, because everybody's going to want to know, when I get it up to about 3 cups, I'm going to pull it out, pour a cup, put it back in, and see how much it leaks. That's going to cause me great anxiety. But the world needs to know. This is small enough that I'm going to just put it in my cooler when I'm not using it. That'll keep it from bouncing around the back of the truck. I think that's a good idea. 573 watts, 5 amps off of AC. Two cups at 5:28, so 5.5 minutes to get the first 2 cups. Alright. And on the water level, we can see it's already dropped down to 1 cup here. So there must be 1 cup. Yeah, that would make sense. There's 1 cup getting heated. So it'll be interesting how much water is left in there when you're done too. If you lose water. Only a factor when you're traveling like I am, because if this thing tips over and there's a little bit of water left in it, you want to know that. Okay, for anybody who's never tried this before, the thing is still going to be perking when I pull the carafe out. Carafe, that's what that's called. So it's going to be filling up the basket, so your tendency is don't dally around, get it done kind of thing. So there's 3 cups. Pull it out, a couple drips, still dripping. Not the world's best seal, but basically it worked. Alright, there's my cup full. Now it's all going to run out quickly because it was floating, right? Or whatever. And you get the sizzling because, you know. I got some grounds floating on the top. I'm not sure if that's because I spazzed out and spilled it. Or whatever. Nice and hot. I probably didn't need to put extra coffee in there. It's good tasting coffee. And yeah, it's still sizzling because the water or the coffee that hit the plate is boiling off. Okay, we're at 7.5 minutes now. So if I was at work and I had my 15-minute coffee break, and if everything was where I could find it, I could brew a cup of coffee in one of my cups. This took up probably 2 cups worth of coffee. So I could probably do a quick 2-cup coffee and get back to work in time to drink the coffee kind of thing. You know, run out to the parking lot, fire up my coffee maker, make my cup, come running back in, you know. I could probably do that. Or, like last night, get off work, go get gas, buy a cup of coffee at the convenience store for $1, which, thinking about it, I'm tempted to just buy a cup of coffee for $1 and be done, you know. But, okay, 8:25, about 8.5 minutes, it's basically done. Yeah, it's done. Okay, yeah, watts dropped right down to 0. This may not keep if it's only at 0 watts, this may or may not be actually heating the cup after. That's interesting. Okay, as soon as the load dropped off, that battery jumped back up to 12 volts. So I went from about 12.5, so I lost half a volt, so 12.5 down to 12 volts. if I have a decent charge, I can definitely do this. This will work. And this is not running off my starting battery, so I'm not in any concern or danger or whatever of running my battery dead. So this would be viable. The issue is, and this is kind of the way I do things. The way you do things will be different, but it's December now. I have been, this last week, I didn't use my propane heater at all. I would get in the truck at night just before I crawl in bed, turn on a small electric heater. I've got 2 electric heaters in their back now that I'm testing. One is a convection, or like a fan heater. Uses 750 watts on low and 1500 on high. On a single battery, 1500 was too much. It would just kill the battery really fast. So I would run it on low, and that works pretty well. I could run the heater for 5 or 10 minutes, take the chill off, jump in my sleeping bag, shut the heater off, sleep pretty good. Or I had the little reflector dish heater that pulls about 300 watts. So I could use that after I ran the big heater and save a little bit of battery. Plus then you get the psychological effect of you see the glowing red heat. It makes you feel warmer, even, it's not a very good heater, but it does make it feel like you got a campfire kind of thing. Hopefully not an actual fire in the back. The third option then is I've got a propane heater. Okay. Well, in town during the week, I don't drive far enough because, like, I get up, I go to the gym to take a shower, or I go to Walmart to buy stuff, use the bathroom at either one of those places. Then I go to the library, for free Wi-Fi, or actually this last week, most of the times I just sat in the truck because it wasn't too hot and wasn't too cold. So I just sat in the truck, had my tablet, and worked on writing my next book. Do that for a couple hours and then drive a few minutes to work. And so in the entire day, I think I'm driving about 25 minutes total. That's not enough to charge the battery back up to the point where I could run a big load again. All right. So, yeah, it still shows 0 watts, so that may not be keeping this warm, which is interesting. Although maybe it might also be temperature sensing. That might be a test. I'm going to run this for a while and just see if it gets cold. Is it going to have to reheat this? It does work though. I gave you 2 thumbs up, but I got my hands in my pocket, right? What else can we add to that? The other part of the equation, and this is what I've been doing up until now, I would brew my 12 cup, my 40 cup coffee maker. I would make a pot of that typically today. So like my first day off, I'd get up, brew 40 cups, shut it off. Then use my microwave throughout the day to just to reheat a cup of coffee. In fact, the first day, I'd put some of that coffee into a thermos. Okay. Hang on. So this last week, and I had bought this thing quite a while ago, and I never really enjoyed, I never fell in love with this, but they got me one of these guys. Beautiful shot of the background there, but anyway. I don't remember how much that holds, but I got a lot of the 40 cups into that. And I don't normally fill it up to 40 cups either. So that might hold 25 or 30 cups. I don't remember exactly, but it holds a lot. Okay. So this last week I used this instead. So I took, as soon as the coffee was finished brewing, I filled up my cup off of the big coffee maker, flipped this guy open, pull the thing out, shoot the coffee straight into that, and it's a thermos, right? First, the first day I didn't have to heat coffee at all; it just worked. Second day, I think I could have drank it straight out of there, but it wasn't hot. It's not like one of your, oh my god, that's a real thermos that keeps coffee hot for a week kind of thing, or whatever. But typically for what I would do then, get a cup out of here, and the thing I don't like about this is it pump. It took, like, my travel cup, it's probably about, equal to this, maybe it holds 2 cups or something. The travel cup, it would take 8 pushes of this to fill it up. To me that's just frickin' annoying. So I don't usually use it, but I thought, okay, this might be good for, honeybee again. Honeybee approved. I don't have any idea if he's going to sit still long enough. Look at that. December. And this guy comes out to check out the coffee maker. Could be my new best friend right there. No, go away. Off he goes. Yeah, I've been noticing honeybees every now and then will come out, and I'm like, man, they got to be sucking right now, because I would think by December they'd be full on trying to hibernate or something. Anyway, I'll ignore the bee for now. Anyway, so yeah, typically what I would do here, I would make my big cup of coffee, or my big pot, 30, 40 cups, whatever. Shut off the coffee maker, just let it sit there. Or put it in a thermos like this. Then the next day, I'd fill up a cup, put it in the microwave, alright, and you're done. Off of the inverter, I have to nuke it 2 or 3 minutes to get it hot. So that's still a pretty good load. It's almost, the little microwave I have in the truck is about 700 watts. It's almost as much as this. All right. So that's kind of what got me thinking is, if I can brew coffee and have a nice fresh cup of coffee instead of having week-old coffee by the end of the week, this might be a better way to go. That's my thinking anyway. Alright, that's it for now. I'm going to go enjoy my cup of coffee. Cheers.
Last thing while I'm thinking about it, this kind of a quick plug for some cool dudes. This rinses out real easy. I don't have a typical water system out here, so I've been using this Aquabot. And what it is, you pump air into it, and then you push down the button and water sprays out. Right? That's my typical way of rinsing dishes when I wash them. Works good. I can usually wash, a little basin full of dishes, so, 4 or 5 containers that I use for making my oatmeal, that kind of thing, and use half a liter of water, which is great for camping. So anyway, the filter, I wasn't super careful, but rinses out pretty clean, and you're good to go. What I'll probably end up doing on the road, get done making coffee, smack it on a tree, a handful of coffee grounds in the park. Nobody's going to care about that anyway. I think coffee's good for plants, so I'm not going to sweat it too much. And I'm the kind of person I probably won't rinse that out every time I use it. I'll just get most of the coffee out, brew it the next day, call it good. Especially when it's cold. When it's hot, I see mold sometimes in my coffee pot. If at the end of 40 cups, it could be a few days. You do kind of get grodies in there, so you want to wash it out. So, but for just quick and easy, or you can use to spray things off. I think that'll be a cool idea. I ordered one of those, but I've got 2 of these now, and I'm probably going to buy another one. It's just handy to have. And then a separate one that I use for washing my hands, just in general. Hand cleaner, rub them up and then use that to rinse my hands off. So good stuff. Like it.